What kind of lo-fi music should we put in the background? Oh wait, is it premiering in 10 seconds? Uh-oh.
This is actually live.
Actually live? Yo?
Actually live.
Actually live? Hello everyone, welcome to the Down Underground Bar podcast, coming to you live from switch.tv/hydro21, where we procrastinated until the very last minute because none of our group members wanted to participate. I'm your host, Lucille Tulio.
And I'm Carlos Sebastian Robo.
That's so weak. And today we're going to be talking about some of the common family issues and how to tackle them with our guest from St. Scholastica's Academy, Lucille Tulio.
Before we start, I would like to thank our sponsor, ICT. Gabay sa aming buhay, gabay sa aming bukas.
Who coincidentally would be playing us? Shut up. Who coincidentally would be paying us in grades? That's a neat little thing. Now, Lucille, would you care to tell us more about yourself?
No.
Okay, so you just cut out so hard. No? Okay, so let's skip into the first segment, communication breakdown. One of the most common issues that families face is a breakdown in communication, whether it's a lack of willingness or difficulty in expressing oneself. Communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. So, how can we improve communication within our families?
Key is to establish open lines of communication to make sure that everybody feels heard and appreciated. This means actively listening to what others have to say and making an effort to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. It also means you being willing to share your own thoughts and feelings in a clear and respectful way.
What if, let's say me and my parents have a very different opinion viewpoint. Like, it's a very politically charged topic, and we can't seem to agree with it. What do you think? Like,
It's either you try to listen to their perspective or they do the same. If they can't do that, then that's on them, because as a parent, you are supposed to respect your
but at the
child.
same time, the parent has, in a way, entitlement to say that this is kind of wrong. This is kind of a terrible perspective, view, or opinion to the child, because for all we know, it is a very let's say, for all we know, the child is like, I don't know, a neo-Nazi.
Well, that's the parent's choice to send them out to therapy or something to get their views corrected. Because in the end, it's the child's choice of way of thinking.
So what you're saying is that if they have a terrible perspective, they should go to therapy. They should get
No,
their
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it really depends on the upbringing they have. Because most people who are neo-Nazis tend to be left alone to themselves. And how do I phrase this nicely? And when they grew up in a toxic environment. Yes, exactly. Because we all know how Nazis were, and we all know how neo-Nazis are. So generally, that means something. If they were raised to be like that, if the parents are also like that, damn, that sucks, man.
But it could also be from a lack of communication because coming from experience, like from other people that I've watched, most parents today either can't control their children or just straight up ignore them, where they just leave them to the gadgets and things like that. So inadvertently, they let the internet raise their children, and you know how horrible the internet can be.
Parents nowadays tend to think that they can leave their children alone with the internet due to how advanced it is. But as parents, they don't understand how advanced it is. We tend to grow on our own very differently from our parents, when in reality, our parents should be the ones who shape our, let's say, views.
So I've heard, and when I say heard, they're just few neighbors. They said that it's easier to, I think, punish the child because they can literally just take away their gadgets and that's it, while they used to get like physically abused, I guess. Like, is that really an effective method? Like using physical violence to discipline your child?
Well, it can certainly affect your child's image of you and change their way of thinking. So I wouldn't say it's ineffective, but also it also isn't really effective because children tend to rebel in the end. They choose to go with whatever they desire. So let's say this child, she started swearing and then you chose to slap her in the face for swearing.
Okay.
She will understand that it's wrong, but it depends on her to choose to continue. And if she chooses to continue, that proves your methods of punishment ineffective.
But would you say that let's go back to the example. Let's say the child swear, mom slapped her in the face. Did she really learn her lesson, or was she just afraid that her mom is gonna slap her again when she does that?
Oh, that's
Because
good
you're not really teaching the morals, right?
correct.
Sure, you're managing the conflict, but all it's just gonna do is just gonna make this child scared at the parent, right? And we don't want that.
Yes, if they learn their lesson, then that's good for them. They know how to listen to their parents. But their parents' decision of punishment. Then she'll grow up to rebel against her parents as an act of rebellion. So it depends on what kind of child they raise.
The qualities.
I'm in the middle of a podcast.
Hi, Cheng. Everyone say hi to Cheng. Hi, Cheng. Hi, Cheng. Would you care to talk about your experiences in domestic abuse?
Okay, I will be back. I'm gonna grab my food.
Food break. We'll be right back. Food break. We'll be right back. Hey, Lucille, what are your parents going to think that you just walked downstairs wearing a suit?
They're not home.
What? That's crazy. No, parents gone. Pog, Batman.
Orphans?
Nope. To the girl in the mirror, girl in the... Cheng, would you like to talk to us about Bitcoin and
You
cryptocurrency
want
as a
to
whole?
learn about NFT?
Would you like to learn about NFTs? It's a really good investment. You should buy an NFT.
It's a very good investment.
It's a good investment.
No.
It's a picture. It's a picture on the internet that you pay millions of dollars for. Hey, Lucille, remember when we were talking about physical violence and physical abuse? I think now's the time to use that.
What?
You know, the baby off the chair. Swish into the basketball court. Slam the child into the flooring.
Cheng, get out of the chair.
Cheng, get out of the chair.
Get out of the chair.
Get out of the chair.
Get out.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Cheng, get out of the chair. Please. Oh. Never mind. I'm being physically abused by a child, man.
Cheng, get out of the chair.
Get out.
Sit on the floor,
Get out.
man.
Cheng, I'm putting you in the video and you are not young enough to consent. No. Okay, managing conflict. Where were we? Let's check the record.
Then she'll grow up to rebel against her parents as an act of rebellion.
Actually, I saw somewhere it doesn't actually teach children to be disciplined. They just teach them to listen for footsteps of their parents and to be more cautious when they're around. Basically, they just teach your child to be afraid of you, and you. Where it's what you guys said a while ago. The trauma. It really doesn't go away. Well, that's trauma. It doesn't go away. It never goes away. It never goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we don't have anything to talk about anymore. So, segment 3, setting boundaries. Do you guys have anything on this?
Alright. Okay, so going back to segment 1 where we're literally talking about neo-Nazis. Okay, what is like the fine line between managing your child's life, letting them be independent? Because you can be a helicopter parent, but or you can be like we going at that kind of parent. Like both have terrible, both like every parenting style has
Flaws.
has some trauma to the child.
Negligent parents. Yeah. Setting boundaries really is key to a healthy family relationship, especially for children who are still being raised by their parents. Because obviously, your parents shape your views, like I said in segment 1.
I mean, they are the only people you have in your life for a long time.
Exactly. People who have negligent parents, as I noticed amongst my classmates, tend to rely on teachers to shape their views. Because they are our third parents. Yes. So setting boundaries is key to a healthy family relationship. But it, of course, has some limits. Like you can't be overprotective of your stuff, but you can also you can't be too highly strong about anything. So
Well,
you just have to
from experience.
confirm with your family.
Yeah, coming from experience, you shouldn't be overprotective. Because I basically never got to experience anything in my life up until this year actually. so like you're what's the word? You're setting them up for failure in the future because they never learn to be independent. I mean, but you shouldn't also give them infinite freedom. You shouldn't give them infinite freedom. You still have to manage over them because, like we said on the first segment, if you just ignore them, be negligent, they'll learn from somewhere else, and that somewhere else isn't always a good place to learn from. Neo-Nazis. Seriously, how did you guys get over there?
I sweated again.
It was a desperate. I was spitballing.
And the first thing that came to mind was neo-Nazis?
Yeah, if you're too negligent of your children, you can be raised to be racist, sexist, generally negative, and have very bad outlooks on life. But if you're also overly protective, they'll grow to be extremely dependent on you. Take me for example. I don't know how to ride a bike. I didn't independence until this year. I wasn't allowed to go outside the house unless I had my parents' permission. Well, I do have my parents' permission until now, but I used to go out of the house with parental supervision as well. But now I've grown to be more independent, and that's brought me some opportunities that I didn't know I could acquire, and I've generally been more happier. So, in the end, setting boundaries, the good way, the good ending.
Just because you got a girlfriend.
A girlfriend?
Yeah.
Extremely sad, but still respect vibe. Please don't leave me hanging.
Right?
Come on. This side. No, wrong side. Wrong side. What do you mean? I'm kicking you out of
I
this
don't
group.
know
You are
what's-
no longer part of this recording. I will edit you out of existence. Go solo. Do this again.
Okay,
So now that we've
now where are we? Established.
so like coming from experience, you do see that setting boundaries and having a good being good parents is extremely useful in your child's development. And when when conflicts arise, and you have to resolve them, or else it will just lead to more and more trauma. So now the actual point and the prompt of this podcast was supposed to be how to resolve conflict. I think we just completely ignored that. Probably.
Yeah, we just literally.
Oh, we did that.
Trauma. We just literally went straight.
But
Well, resolving conflict depends on how your parents solve conflict.
wait, I didn't do the
Because
thing yet.
if you are
And wait, Shop. Do that again after this segment 4. and then be right back screen. And then boom, back. Hey, welcome back to segment 4. What were you saying before I rudely interrupted you, Lucille?
it's really depends on parents' way of solving problems. Because if they have an unhealthy way of solving problems, then obviously you will also be raised under that way of problem solving. And none of you will be able to resolve conflict amongst each other. So I think the healthiest way and most practical way is to talk it out. Communication breakdown. Which simply leads us back to segment 1. Communication really is key.
We gone full circle. It's really down to this communication.
Yeah, for real.
Okay,
For
so, alright.
But what if the parents are being stubborn? What if they don't want to talk it out? What if they just want to ignore you? Or segment 2 and 3.
If they want to ignore you, then so be it.
They're being
If they don't want to listen and you know that you're right, then most of the time, if you feel that you're right, you're probably self-centered and conceited. No offense, but like, you really do have to sort it out with your parents if you want to have a healthy family relationship with them. So communication, really important. If the parents don't want to listen, try to convince them to listen. If they don't want to listen at all, try to convince them through their friends, I guess, through someone they know. Or maybe expose them to more media.
I mean, okay, if you know your parents are still really willing to start a conversation about it, they're stubborn.
That's why
Plus-
people tend to be more closed when it comes to strict and stubborn parents. Which is why some people don't have relationships with their parents at all. They cut off ties with them. So
Yeah, sorry. Go.
no, you go on. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Yeah, they cut off, right? But there's families who have really traumatic experiences, but they can't just immediately cut it off.
they're still reliant. They're still reliant on the
They
parents
still
to survive.
they're still dependent. Yeah, they're still in.
Well, it depends on their situation at the moment. It's really their choice to cut off ties with their parents to resolve conflicts. But most people, when they're financially stable or can live on their own without their parents, they tend to cut ties with them if they have a really, really horrible relationship.
No. But what if they physically can't? Or because then
Like they
they'll just die out there without their parents. They're still dependent on them because of how they were raised. So even if they have a bad relationship, they still can't leave.
Depends on them to move on from that dependency.
how strong of a boundary
I
Because-
feel that you don't have to be completely avoidant of your parents from peeping into your private life.
just
But
really
so-
strong boundaries.
So you have to keep some things secret from them. Because you don't want to ruin your friends' view of your parents. You don't want your friends' view of your parents' view of your friends to be ruined. So it really depends on how strong of boundaries you set for your parents and your friends and your family in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's difficult
Yeah.
because usually your parents are the only ones you can rely on to. So if that reliance is cut off, broken, and like cut off, broken, you can no longer depend on them. Like if you don't have anyone else to rely on, like friends or other family members who might be more accepting of your views, of your beliefs, things like that. Because I can't think of any more things.
Basically,
Because it's an actual
have support.
yeah, if you don't have a support system.
It's an actual.
Oh wait, that's what we're learning in AP. Yo, hi Sir Mike. Yeah, but all in all, resolving family issues usually just takes time, patience, and understanding, and like actual communication with the parent. Because it's a two-way street. You have to they'll never change if they don't think that they need to change because usually they might just think they're doing a good job in raising you, but because you're keeping it secret, they never realize that what they're doing is wrong. So you really just have to have the right tools, the right mindset, and know that it's possible to improve your relationship within your families. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. And you guys add whatever you want to do at the ending. Bye bye. Thumbs up. But
Do you have any? Oh, by the way, do you have any links that you want to
no,
shout out?
I don't use any social media.
subscribe to Hydro21 on YouTube.
And if you want special content, check out our Patreon.
If you want
patreon.com/.
if you want to see us naked, check out our own. I'm not putting that in.
If you want the full uncut release, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dubbar. It's in the description. You can check it out.
Also, but there won't be a description because this is not. Oh yeah, sure. Check the description.
And if you don't like our faces, you can go for Spotify. and we like to thank again ICTHS for sponsoring this podcast.
Please give us a high grade. I want to have honors this quarter as well.
Please. But thank you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye!